Hey guys, what's going on? As we all know, last month Google released two Nexus phones, the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P. This is the Nexus 5X unboxing as well as the full review after using it for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so let's get started with the unboxing. This is just a plain, simple, clean, very typical Google box in white. It has the X, which stands for Nexus 5X. Let's open the box, see what we have here. This is actually my very first unboxing video, so just please bear with me. As we open the box, we are greeted with the X again, which obviously stands for Nexus 5X. So let's check what we have in the box. We have this white AC adapter to charge our phone. So this is the one that would go into the wall. We have the USB Type-C cable here. It seems like this is a USB Type-C to USB Type-C. So you may not actually have a cable that would go into your computer or anything. Okay, here we have the phone, but let's put it on the side for now. Let's see what else we have. Here we have the Google Music. So it seems like this is a free Google Music subscription for 90 days. We have the warranty and safety information along with the SIM card ejector here. So let's get to the phone. As this is the first time I'm holding the Nexus 5X, it kind of looks and feels the same exact phone as the Nexus 5. The build quality is very similar. All the look and feel, the touch, the experience is very much like the Nexus 5. Okay, so let's turn the phone on, see what we get. This is the new Google Nexus logo. This is how the phone starts. The setup process on this phone is actually pretty good. It's pretty fast. It only takes about a minute to when you set it up at the beginning. To set up the Nexus imprint also takes about less than 10 seconds. This is the smaller and the budget-friendly of the two sibling Nexus device Google released last month. This is Google's latest Nexus 5X, manufactured by LG. 5X is a true successor to Nexus 5 from 2 years ago, which was also made by LG. Google has also released a bigger and a premium Nexus device, the Nexus 6P. If you're interested in watching the 6P review, click on the annotation or check for the link in the description section below. 5X is the latest Android phone you can buy with no skins or bloatware, and also there are very few Google apps here as well. This phone comes with Android 6.0 out of the box, just like Nexus 6P. The 5X does offer a lot of the same features as the Nexus 6P, except the 5X is made out of soft plastic. The soft plastic material does feel pretty well on the hand. The phone does offer rounded corners, so it's easier to hold and use with one hand. The 5X truly does feel amazing on the hand. Every time I'm holding this phone, it reminds me of the Nexus 5 from 2 years ago. 5X is the smaller and more budget-friendly device, starting at $379 for 16GB and $429 for the 32GB version. There is no expandable storage on this phone, so you might want to consider getting the 32GB version. The design language on the 5X is very similar to its successor Nexus 5. We have the sleep and the power button on the right side, along with the volume rockers. They're pretty tactile actually. And we have the SIM card on the other side of the phone, and the bottom we have the headphone jack as well as the USB Type-C charger, which is the reversible charging port. And this phone also features a rear fingerprint sensor, which does work very well. The phone feels pretty well on the hand and does feel very much like the Nexus 5 from 2013. Nexus 5 was one of the best phones we have seen, and Google decided to remake that Nexus 5 with the new specs to meet the 2015 standard. Overall, it's a good phone with good design. The build quality is actually pretty good. But then again, there's nothing to be wow about this phone. This is just like any other mid-tiered Android phone. The 5X has the new fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone, which Google calls the Nexus imprint. It's really fast. I think it works for me every single time, and the placement of the fingerprint sensor on the back is really well done. It's exactly where my index finger would rest. But I feel like if you have bigger hands, it may be an inconvenience for you. The display on this phone is a 1080p LCD panel with Gorilla Glass 3. Although it's not using a quad-core display like the 6P, the display is still pretty sharp and viewing angles are pretty good. It's an average LCD panel. Nothing to be wow about it. The biggest thing with the screen is being outdoors. It's not the easiest thing to see under direct sunlight, so you do have to crank up the brightness all the way. But I feel like it seems like Google or LG had to cut corners to make this phone budget friendly. Just like LG G4, the 5X features a Snapdragon 808 hexa-core processor along with Adreno 418 GPU, coupled with 2 gigs of RAM, which may not be enough for today's standard, but then again, since this phone is running pure Android, it should perform just fine with 2 gigs of RAM. I have been using it for exactly 2 weeks now. Playing games or multitasking on this phone is fairly fast. I haven't had any issues with performance. The only thing I came across is the camera app. I felt the camera app was lagging a little, but I feel like this can be fixed with the software update in the future. In Geekbench 3 testing, the single core and the multi-core scores are pretty reasonable for a Snapdragon 808 processor with 2 gigs of RAM. Okay, as we all know, camera has been the biggest problem for Nexus devices in the past, but it seems like Google is about to change that this year. 5X features a 12.3 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. This camera does take some great pictures. The image quality on this phone is great. Details are captured quite well. It's quite fast to snap a picture on this phone, and they look good. You can double tap the power button to turn the camera on. There is no image stabilization, but if you're using it under low lights, using the HDR Plus really helps. The phone is featuring a pretty basic camera app. There aren't many manual control options here. The phone can also record in 4K, and you probably won't miss this image stabilization unless you're recording in 4K. Under the description section, I would leave a link below for sample pictures. So the battery life on this 5X is pretty average. It features a 2700 mAh battery, which does seem to last almost full day, but it will kill the battery if you play games or use it as a GPS, so you might want to consider carrying a charger. Speaking of the charger, 5X only comes with a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable, so you'll not be able to connect this phone to your laptop for data transfer. If you would like to get a new cable, you would actually have to shell out a couple bucks to get a new cable. That would be the USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable. In addition to having a decent battery life, 5X comes with the newest feature of Android Marshmallow called Doze. It actually helps your battery quite a bit for standby time. So if you're not using your phone, it will delay the notifications to preserve your battery. I left my phone on the desk for 24 hours. When I came back, it only lost about 10% or so. Just like Nexus 6P, the 5X doesn't come with wireless charging, but it does offer fast charging. I'm usually able to go from 0 to 100% in about 100 minutes or so. Overall, I think 5X is a pretty decent phone for its price tag. It offers some great features like awesome camera, front-facing speakers, fingerprint sensor, and fast charging, as well as having the pure Android experience. So I think it's actually a pretty good buy if you don't mind the plastic body and you like a phone that you can handle with one hand. And also, this one actually has a lower price tag than the premium 6P. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please click like and subscribe button. As you know, this is a brand new channel, so it will help me quite a bit. Until then, peace, and I will see you on the next video.